Yo guys, I just want to say a couple of things before I start with this review. So first of all, I want to say massive thank you for 14,000 subscribers. This actually happened a couple of days ago, but I forgot to mention it here on YouTube. I kind of tweeted this, but still, massive thank you. And second thing that I want to say, that I want to thank you for is the support on my previous episode review. My most liked episode review had like 500, 600, something like that likes. And the previous one has 800 something. You guys are crazy in a positive way, obviously. And the third thing I want to say is that I did a separate video talking about Urashiki's Rinnegan. It's a 9-minute discussion. It's gonna pop up at the end screen of this video, so you can watch this review normally, and then at the end screen you just click it if you want to watch it, because I didn't want to include it here because the video would be too long, because just that part is like 9 minutes long. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Episode 62 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, and I know that a lot of you are gonna laugh right now, but this one makes my top 3 episodes list. And the reason why you're laughing is because I literally said this last week, and somebody in my comment section was like, just wait for the next episode and then you're gonna say it's your favorite. I'm still thinking if this episode tops episode 61 on my list. Either way, episode 23 goes to the 3rd spot, but you know, man, like, excuse me, this episode was just too fucking good. That's the point. And all I can say is who's cutting the onions. That part at the end, my goodness. But before we get into that, let's just talk about some events that happened before that in Boruto episode 62. So obviously, you know, Momoshiki and Kinshiki appear. They interrupt the exams. I mean, the exams were technically finished, but you get the drill, right? And interesting thing is that in the movie, they kind of went down really hard, pretty much started destroying everything from the start, but here they landed normally. First they talked or whatnot. So yeah, I really appreciated that change. I mean, that was even obvious in the last episode when Momoshiki and Kinshiki were in the sky, and Momoshiki was like, I finally found you, because that also wasn't in the movie version of the versus Momoshiki arc. Again, I really appreciated these changes, and there were even more changes that were made in this episode, which just made the overall experience much better. And the movie was brilliant anyway, so that really shows how great this anime version of the versus Momoshiki arc really is. And anyway, as they are talking, you know, Momoshiki, Kinshiki, and Naruto, you see reactions of different people. Sara is super surprised, obviously, you know, everybody is surprised, but Mitsuki says impossible. And he looks at them and he's super worried. Now, it's normal that he's worried, but it feels like he knew that, yo, these guys were the Otsutsukis, because you can clearly see that Sarada said, who are these people, or who are these guys, whatever, meaning that she didn't know, and then it switches to Mitsuki later on saying impossible. And I don't know if you paid attention, but just rewatch that scene. I'm 100% sure that he knew that these guys were Otsutsuki's. I'm 100% sure. So yeah, I really appreciate that small detail. Another thing that I really appreciate about this episode is the fact that we got a lot of different short character interactions from some of the characters. What am I trying to say here? Well, after the opening, right, we see a short scene, for example, where Temari and Sakura protect a couple of citizens. We see a short scene where Denki, Iwabe, and Metzela are talking, and Denki is basically giving them instructions. We see Kakashi saying that there's no time to talk about the exams or whatever. You see Gaara and Shinki talking, and basically Gaara tells him, yo, you're no match for these guys, just make sure to help everybody here, go save some people, basically. And, you know, this is something that I really appreciate about the Boruto series in general. The dialogue is always on point, and episodes are full of these tiny details, which enrich the quality of the episode itself. By the way, one of the highlights of this episode, in my honest opinion, was when Sasuke saved Sarada from Kinshiki, and he was like, "Don't touch my daughter. Do you want me to shorten that horn of yours?" Something like that. That was super hilarious, and it was just a badass scene, which I really enjoyed. And seeing how Kinshiki got triggered was extremely hilarious, in my opinion. But anyway, let's talk about the boy Mitsuki for a second. Now, I already saw this on my Twitter. Everybody says, "I wish I saw Mitsuki fighting using Sage Mode and all that," which is cool, but I feel like one specific part of that scene is very underrated, and that's the fact that Mitsuki decided to enter Sage Mode because of Boruto, even though he knew that he would get I guess kicked out of village or something like that. He basically wouldn't be here. That's what Orochimaru told him, and despite that, he still wanted to sacrifice, you know, his life. I mean, when I say his life, I don't mean that he would die, but you get what I'm saying. He wanted to sacrifice so much just so he could help Boruto, which emphasizes the bond, the sun-moon bond that Mitsuki and Boruto have, which is something that I'm really enjoying. The writers trolled us really hard by having Mitsuki enter his Sage Mode for about 2 seconds. Urashiki stopped him, and obviously it was a surprise seeing Urashiki. Well, I wasn't surprised because I did read some spoilers yesterday. I even knew about Urashiki's Rinnegan, but I reckon that for most of you this was a surprise. Urashiki was indeed there, and it's interesting how he commented that his clan doesn't use chakra this way, and obviously when it comes to Sage Mode you gather natural energy. Now, a lot of people have been speculating that Mitsuki lost his Sage Mode completely. Now, I disagree with that. Even though Mitsuki's Sage Mode is clearly different from all the Sage Modes we've seen, because he literally automatically got it because of Orochimaru's experiments. He didn't train for it, right? Even despite that, I feel like the principle should be the same. You gather natural energy and you enter Sage Mode. Is just, you know, he lost a lot of chakra because, you know, Urashiki stole it from him, and boom, Mitsuki fainted. So yeah. And now let's talk about Momoshiki, Kinshiki, Boruto, Naruto, and Sasuke. So anyway, Boruto tries to attack Momoshiki with all these jutsus. Nothing works. Momoshiki obviously absorbs everything. And obviously, before that, he literally kicked Naruto in the face. In the movie, Naruto literally, when Momoshiki kicked him, he went through the walls. And here he stayed in the Chunin Exams arena, which is another change that I appreciate, because it's unrealistic that he would go through the fucking wall, right? Let's be honest. Because that kick couldn't be that strong, right? So, yeah. Anyway, Naruto came back. Obviously, he stood up. He wasn't defeated. And we have the scene where we have Naruto and Sasuke talking with Momoshiki and Kinshiki. And Momoshiki's attitude, how he refers to basically to human beings, is something that really caught my attention. I talked about this in my Boruto episode 50 something review. I don't really remember, and I said something very interesting in that video. I said that I feel like in the Otsutsuki clan there's a hierarchy, and that Momoshiki is part of the branch family. And immediately everybody told me the branch family are the ones that were on the moon, and obviously we have the main Otsutsuki family. And I was kind of pissed, not at these people, but I was pissed at myself for not explaining it properly. Guys, I do realize that, you know, everything that was explained in Naruto the last, how there was this Otsutsuki clan on the moon and how they are the branch family, I understand that, but I was referring to the actual full-blooded Otsutsukis who live in a different dimension. I feel like there's some type of hierarchy there, because Momoshiki looks down on these people. I get the vibe that somebody looked down on Momoshiki Otsutsuki. I could be wrong, maybe this is his I guess personality or whatever, but that's just something that I, you know, had in my mind. Yeah, this would excuse me, if my theory is correct, and if, you know, somebody looked down on Momoshiki, this would require some type of backstory for Momoshiki, which I would really appreciate. How likely is it to happen? I don't know, but maybe we'll get it later on. Anyway, Momoshiki and Kinshiki in this episode pretty much confirmed their goal, which we kind of knew already. I mean, we did. See, the thing is, in the movie, we also knew about their goal, but in the anime, many episodes ago, it was established that Momoshiki and Kinshiki were dispatched by the clan. I think Urashiki mentioned that when he was talking to Toneri. Correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway, they were dispatched, which kind of gives some context to it. They're just not randomly searching for power. And anyway, I think I mentioned this during my time as a Boruto YouTuber already a couple of times, maybe even a year ago, but I'm gonna repeat it once again. I'm 100% sure that there's a reason why the Otsutsuki clan seeks power, immortality, youth, or whatever. Yes, Momoshiki and Kinshiki did talk about it in this episode, and you know, it feels like they really enjoy that, and they just want to be youthful or whatever, powerful. But I feel like there's more to it, because let's say, okay, Otsutsuki clan, they're a clan, right? They're not gonna fight between each other if they're a clan. So if they're not fighting, why would they want all this power? Why not just live their lives normally? Which makes me believe that there's either a conflict within the actual clan, because keep in mind, we don't know the size of this clan. For all we know, there could be hundreds of Otsutsukis out there. It could be either that they're fighting between themselves, like the Otsutsuki clan, or maybe there are some other celestial beings out there, because the space is big, let's be honest. So yeah, but anyway, all of this will be either denied or confirmed later on in the Boruto series. As Momoshiki and Kinshiki were explaining their goal, Naruto said that this is not real power, and he basically said that they're just relying on tools. And just for a moment, we see Boruto with his arm like this. I think he was looking at the ninja tool or whatever, which is a crucial detail, which it's easy to miss, because you know, we all focus on Naruto's words, but you know, that will help Boruto realize why it was so wrong to use the kote. I mean, he already does know it, but he will feel even more ashamed because of it, and it will just contribute to his character progression, which is something that I'm really enjoying. A couple of moments later, Momoshiki starts attacking, and I really liked this moment where Boruto stood in front of Sarada. One thing that I thought was hilarious was that, you know, he created a shadow clone, and I'm like, this shadow clone has to be the most useless thing ever. He literally created it and it got destroyed easily. But the point is, Boruto's attitude to save Sarada, to protect Sarada, is something that's important about this scene. So yeah. Anyway, I think in the episode we switched to the scene with Urashiki, Gaara, and Chojuro. It was a nice fight. I mean, you know, it's obvious that Urashiki isn't trying his hardest. And he's not 100% focused, which was seen because he was caught easily, you know, in Gaara's and Chojiro's trap. And, you know, it felt strange seeing a god getting trapped. And as he started using his, I guess, weapon, Gaara's sand caught it. And anyway, one thing about Urashiki that's very interesting is that he can, when you use his power against him, he can literally steal it and use it against you. Some people speculate that he could use these powers forever, but I don't think so. I feel like that's one of his powers. If you attack him with the sand, and if he dodges it and takes that sand, he can just fire it back. Similar concept to Momoshiki's absorption ability. It's not the same, but you know, I'm just making a parallel right there. Anyway, when you know, when Gaara and Chojuro caught him off guard, he activated the Rinnegan. And as I said, I made a separate video talking about this, which will be at the end screen of this video. There are so many things. There are so many theories, so many things that could be possible. I highly suggest you to check the video at the end screen of this video. And anyway, obviously using the Rinnegan, which by the way, he switched from Byakugan to Rinnegan, which is just fucking crazy. Anyway, he escapes and he totally leaves. And this begs the question, Is he going to be relevant later on in the series, or is he going to be killed off in this arc? If you read the manga, you know a certain theory about a certain character killing Urashiki. I still believe in that theory, and I still think Urashiki will be killed very, very soon. If my calculations are correct, episode 65 will conclude the Momoshiki fight, and by episode 66, 67 maybe, we could see Urashiki being killed. Mark my words, I could be 100% wrong. I'm a big fan of Urashiki. This is something that most of you, if you follow my reviews, know. He has a very interesting personality. He feels like he has some of his own goals, but I still think he's gonna die, unfortunately, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, okay, going back to the question that I proposed at the start of this video, who's cutting the onions? Who's cutting the onions, guys? I mean, I lost it. I lost it completely at that point. And you know what the best thing is? As Boruto starts seeing these flashbacks, he says, "Is this Dad's chakra?" Meaning that those were Naruto's thoughts. This really reminded me of the scene where Naruto was seeing Obito's thoughts. Like, I immediately thought about that. And the thing is, at the end of the last week's episode, Boruto told Naruto maybe if we spent more time together, or he said if we talked more or something like that, maybe I wouldn't cheat. At that point, Naruto probably started thinking about the time he spent with Boruto, which is why this scene makes 100% sense, because in Boruto time, this, only a couple of moments passed after, Boruto said that to Naruto, and this represents that Naruto was worried, and that he really started thinking about these things. And you can see it on Naruto's face at the end of the last episode, how sad he was when Boruto told him that. And man, the soundtrack and the flashbacks, it was just beautiful. When something is so good that the only word that you can use to describe it is beautiful. That's it. That was beautiful. I'm just happy, man, because one thing that I look for when I watch anime is emotional moments which represent bonds between characters, character interactions, and I'm getting all of that in the Boruto series, which is the main reason why I'm enjoying this series so much. And furthermore, you see all the citizens cheering for Naruto. You see all these reactions from different characters. It was so dramatic. And at the end, Boruto screams, "Dad!" And you can just feel the emotion in the voice. And even before Boruto screamed, Naruto turns around and smiles at Boruto. That's one of my favorite moments in all of Boruto so far. And I mean, even before he turned around and smiled, he told Sasuke, "Take care of children," if I remember correctly, which was another very, very deep moment. And both Boruto and Sarada were shocked to hear that, because at one point Boruto in this episode asked why isn't Naruto attacking, and Sasuke made it clear that Naruto could fire a Bijudama, I guess, but that would it would literally destroy the entire arena, and it would probably get a couple of people killed, which is something that Naruto wanted to avoid. He even mentioned in this episode how the entire village is his family. And all in all, 10 out of 10 from me for this episode. I still, even after filming this review, I still don't know if episode 62 tops episode 61 on my top 3 list, but I'm gonna have to think about it after I finish recording this video, because both episodes were amazing. Getting such episodes back to back is lovely, and it's just gonna get better and better, and soon we're gonna get into some of the latest arcs of the manga Boruto greatness, guys. Twitter and Discord links are in the description below. As I said, 10 out of 10 from me, 100 million 10 out of 10 from me. That was your boy Hokage. If you're new to this channel and if you're into Boruto, consider subscribing. Make sure to watch the Urashiki Rinnegan video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.